Hi, thank you for watching Digging to China. I'm Dong Shong. Beijing has asked Alibaba to dispose of its media assets as officials grow more concerned about technology giants' sway over public opinion in the country, according to people familiar with the matter. Discussions over the matter have been held since early this year after Chinese regulators reviewed a list of media assets owned by Alibaba, whose mainstay business is online retail. Officials were appalled at how expensive Alibaba's media interests have become and asked the company to come up with a plan to substantially curtail its media holdings, the people said. The government didn't specify which assets would need to be unloaded. Billionaire Jack Ma founded Alibaba. Over the years, he has assembled a formidable portfolio of media assets that span print, broadcast, digital, social media, and advertising. Among them, stakes in the Twitter-like Weibo platform and several popular Chinese digital and print news outlets, as well as the South China Morning Post, a leading English-language newspaper in Hong Kong. Several holdings are in US-listed companies. The total value of Alibaba's media assets couldn't be obtained. Holdings in publicly listed companies had a combined market value of more than $8 billion, according to a Wall Street Journal tally. That includes a roughly $3.5 billion stake in Weibo Corp and a nearly $2.6 billion stake in Bilibili Inc., a video platform that is popular among younger Chinese people. One of the most prominent acquisitions was The Post, which traces its root to the era of British colonial rule in Hong Kong. Alibaba has also set up joint ventures or partnerships with powerful state-run media like Xinhua News Agency and the local government-run newspaper groups in Zhejiang and Sichuan provinces. Alibaba's media presence is seen as posing serious challenges to the Chinese Communist Party and its own powerful propaganda apparatus, the people said. Alibaba declined to comment on discussions with regulators pertaining to possible media divestment. In a statement, the company said it is a passive financial investor in media assets. The statement said, quote, "The purpose of our investments in these companies is to provide technology support for their business upgrade and drive commercial synergies with our core commerce business. We do not intervene or get involved in the company's day-to-day operations or editorial decisions," unquote. The asset disposal discussions are the latest development in a series of run-ins between Beijing and Mr. Ma, who was once China's most celebrated entrepreneur. Late last year, Chinese leader Xi Jinping personally scuttled plans by Ant Group Corporation, Alibaba's financial technology affiliate, to launch what could have been the world's largest initial public offering. It is partially due to growing unease in Beijing over Ant's complex ownership structure and worries that Ant was adding risk to the financial system. Mr. Xi was also angry at Mr. Ma for criticizing his efforts to strengthening financial oversight. Antitrust regulators are also preparing to levy a record fine in excess of $975 million over what they call anti-competitive practices on Alibaba's e-commerce platforms. In addition, Alibaba would be required to end a practice in which it forbade merchants on its site from also selling goods on rival platforms. Beyond media and online retail, Alibaba also has a sizable entertainment division consisting mainly of Hong Kong-listed Alibaba Pictures Group Limited and Youku Tudou Inc., one of China's largest video streaming platforms. Officials also reviewed Alibaba's entertainment portfolio. Although outright divestitures in that part of the company's business may not be necessary, people familiar with discussions related to Alibaba Entertainment business said. It isn't clear whether Alibaba would need to sell all of its media assets. Any plan that Alibaba comes up with will need approval from China's senior leadership. Concerns have been growing in recent years in China's officialdom over Alibaba's media cloud and how the company may have leveraged its investments in news and social media to reshape government policies deemed unfavorable to its businesses. Those concerns grew following an incident in May last year, when scores of Weibo posts about a senior Alibaba executive's alleged involvement in an extramarital affair were deleted. Having to shed its media interests isn't necessarily a big negative for Alibaba, as it could re-emerge from the regulatory onslaught in a more secure position with Beijing after having given up some non-core assets. It could also help steer the company clear of future political minefields as authorities maintain a tight grip on the media. Alibaba isn't the only Chinese tech giant that has a hand in media. Tencent Holding Inc. has a WeChat messaging service that has become one of the primary ways in which ordinary Chinese people get news. ByteDance Limited operates popular news aggregator Today's Headline, which employs artificial intelligence to push news to hundreds of millions of users. It isn't clear if any other tech companies would have to follow the same pattern as Alibaba in considering the disposal of media assets. Alibaba's media investments began before the company rose to international fame with its then record-breaking IPO on the New York Stock Exchange in 2014. Over the years, Alibaba and Ant purchased the stakes in some of the country's most popular media outlets, including business-focused Yi-Cai Media Group and tech-focused news portals Huishu.com and 36kr.com. Media outlets often met Alibaba's overtures with enthusiasm given the tech giant's deep pockets and digital expertise. Since being bought by Alibaba in 2016, the South China Morning Post has expanded its digital news offerings and editorial staff and completed a makeover of its Hong Kong headquarters. Some journalists and readers worried that Alibaba, which has an office a few floors above the Post's newsroom, would interfere with the paper's coverage to please Beijing. But the newspaper at times published stories that appeared unfavorable to the Chinese leadership, including extensive coverage of Hong Kong's 2019 and the 2020 protests and Beijing's growing control over the city. Mr. Ma said in a public forum in 2017 that he never interfered with newsroom operations and respected journalism. Hong Kong's media has been under increasing pressure from Beijing. After the introduction of the national security law last year, the vaguely worded law, which criminalized acts of sedition, secession, foreign collusion, and terrorism, has had a chilling effect of press freedom. Now, Beijing orders Alibaba to shed itself of media assets. Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment and subscribe to my channel. Just click the subscribe button right here. I'll see you again shortly.